Ja, je doet het.
Yes. We hebben ook al, we already have 7 viewers.
Oh, that's nice.
Hello, everybody.
You can see. Oh, 6.
One left.
One left. What did I do? No.
So we can see the chat. Yeah, the chat is working.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Hello, everybody. We will wait till a few minutes, till 3 o'clock, and then we will start with the webinar. Nice to see that already a few viewers are here. We see that there are 8 now. Very good.
Yep.
Hello, Annelies. We see the chat is working. You can hear us good, Annelies?
No, you're not able to speak, but you're able to put chats and we can respond on the chat.
Is that clear, Albin? Bonjour, Maxime.
Okay, Albin, it's clear. Good.
Good.
Mucian is also there.
Yes, Albin, we are here at the Housing Association Domijn, and we are in a very old building, and that's renovated. But we also left in a few old elements, as you can see here at the back. It's very nice, and it's also very good insulated, so very energy friendly. Hello, Pascal and Sophie. Welcome.
Oké.
Gaan we starten of wachten we nog 1 minuut? Starten, hè?
Begin jij maar.
Okay. Yeah, welcome everybody. It's 3 o'clock. And 3 o'clock is the time that we are starting with this INDU-ZERO webinar. That is about the first product design for Dutch housing associations. Tom, here on the right, and I, Rutger, we will host this webinar today. And we have set up a program for you. As said, it's the first product design for the Dutch housing associations, but we also go into the showcase of Housing Association Domijn, where the product design will be realized in the next year. The program of this webinar is as following. As first, we start with introducing ourselves. Then I will go into the INDU-ZERO project background and goals, very short. Then Tom will present the product designs he and his team has made. I will go into the showcases, and then we will end this webinar. For you, it's good to know, as you have seen, there is a chat function in this webinar. So if you have questions, you can ask them and we will answer them by voice. So Ulla-Britt, we will come back later in the... your question is, Ulla-Britt, you have a question already? You ask if the product will be the same for other countries as well. That's a good question, because the product is designed for Dutch housing associations doesn't mean it's only for the Dutch, but because Domijn is doing a showcase, this is the theme of today. But Tom has designed his product that is useful for European types of houses, and he will come back later on that and shows and tells you all about it.
Yep.
Okay, let's go to the introduction.
So my name is Tom Evers. Hello, everybody. I'm an industrial designer. I've got an industrial design office for 27 years, and I've been asked by our cPanels to help them in thinking of making smart manufacturing and making production with every product is different. So it's a good challenge. We are used to think in mass production, and we help in this project to make a smart integration of elements so that we can have a very cost-effective product and a good functional product.
Okay, thank you, Tom. I am Rutger Vrielink. I manage strategy and innovation at Domijn. Domijn is a housing association located in the eastern of the Netherlands. We have about 50,500 social homes and offer a shelter to 29,000 people. We do like 400 sustainable renovations a year, and we invest 12 million a year on that sustainability. For Domijn, sustainability is a key priority, and we are looking for affordable renovations to make that happen. So INDU-ZERO is for Domijn a very important project to realize, because otherwise we won't reach the goals we all have made for the EU. Now that we introduced ourselves, let me tell you something about the INDU-ZERO project. Some of you maybe know already about the project because of the earlier webinars. So I will introduce it shortly. For more information about the project, videos, text, and webinars we had before, you can visit the INDU-ZERO website. The project INDU-ZERO has a few key starting points. The most important is that we would like to renovate homes to net zero for 40,000 euro. This is half the price of what current renovation of this standard costs now. The renovation is then cost effective for a housing association, and this is very important. To achieve this price level, industrialization and upscaling is necessary. Therefore is the principle of designing a factory that produces 50,000 renovation packages a year. That is another starting point. It is estimated that such a production facility requires an investment of around 200 million euros. This is taken into account in our project for the business case and for finding a potential investor to realize this factory. So these are the three main starting points for the project. The project knows 5 important steps. We also call them work packages. And there is a parallel and integral cooperation between the participants in the development of the packages and working them out. In today's presentation, the focus is on the steps 2 and 5. Tom will go in on the development of the renovation packages, and I will go into the showcases. So Tom.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Rutger. So I will start with this, with the package about renovation, how we see the product. So our challenges are to get, first is to get low cost. And low cost is the most important one, because if we reach the low cost, we also will be very sustainable. So if we can have the low cost, we can have more houses get a good insulation, and would be the first goal for being very sustainable. So for low cost, we think on less labor on site, improving integration of functionality. We look for efficient transportation, using low cost materials, and also less time consuming in the factory. Just try to find very smart solutions and to integrate as much as possible in the factory, to have as less cost on site and use also as less possible time on site and prepare everything in the factory. About sustainability, of course, the good insulation is the most important one, but we also will think about how we can make the products like that they, when we have to demolish them, maybe in 50 years or maybe in 100 years, we need to know how we can do it, and that we can preferably reuse the materials and not recycling, but try to reuse it so that we make it a longer lifetime for the materials, and because then we lose as lost cost as we want, and it's the best sustainable solution. We also focus on using as less possible different types of materials, and also that we focus also that we can split the materials when we have to recycle it, that we can do it in a circular end of life story. We are thinking of a lot of different types of materials. In the beginning, we thought about SIPs, we thought about wooden constructions, and we thought about the EPS construction where we focus on now. We did a life cycle analysis on all these different types of building principles, and we came to the conclusion that because of the cost price, the EPS has the best figures for pricing and also for sustainability. From that, we start focusing more on the EPS panels. This is a product which is already made now by AC panels in Holland, and I want to explain you what we try to do in this element, also to be more cost effective. So what we think what are opportunities to implement in features into the panel are the windows and doors without frame. So if we do it clever, we don't need framing anymore. We want to implement all the channels for air and the conduits. We want to have an implementation ideas of the heating system, also for the rain drainage and the downspouts. We want to integrate the mounting implementations for the PV panels, and also we'll think about the smart connection of the wall and the roof. Hi. Yes. Okay, so if we see the current RC panel, then the panel is made like this. It starts with the fiberglass polyester on the bottom. Then on top of it we have an OSB wooden plate. Then we have the EPS. Then we have a fiberglass polyester, and then on top of it we have the outer stone strips, and this can also be other stuc. There's a message. Does everybody see the good presentation? Because we got a message that oh, it's okay now. Okay. Why EPS for the lambda of no contact versus aerogel? There's a question we have here. Why using EPS of a lambda of 0.3 instead of aerogel? It's a good question. It's just about pricing. Even when we have the EPS with a lower isolation as aerogel, the price point of the material is so cheap, and we can easily make panels of 22 centimeters, and then we have an RC of 7. So we are quite good in the state of insulation. What we want to improve on the product is that we want to to do more 3D scanning, 3D cut engineering, 3D milling, and in the panels, we want to have an integration of all functionalities, what I mentioned before, and we want to use less different materials in production steps. We changed the material of here, we changed it to this. So we skipped out the OSB. We made just a EPS with the polyester cover, so it gets a sandwich construction. We're still in discussion if we want to use polyester or epoxy. This is we are going to make some tests at the moment to do some force testing. It seems that maybe we will change to epoxy. Epoxy is a bit more expensive, but with polyester we need a barrier, and with epoxy we don't need it. So in fact, for the cost it will be, I think, more or less equal. What we will do here, we will have the EPS blocks. We will make the EPS blocks and then we mill them out. And then if we have milled them out, we can put the polyester chops around it, and then we have a very constructive wall element or roof element. That's the main idea about this product. If we want to recycle it or reuse it, we can do it in this way. If we mill out the edges on the corners, we can peel off the hard materials, and then we have the EPS, which can be recycled, and the other materials, they will be not recycled, but they will be they will go to the burning, how I call it, to the afval. What is the afval? I forgot the name. It's okay. They will go to the end phase of their life cycle. What we are thinking of, what we are trying to find here is for the polyester also to think about biomaterials to use instead of glass fibers. This is also something which is in our scope to do some research on. For now, it looks that it's too expensive, but we will find out if it's possible. We're going to message here, Albin. If at some point in coming years you would conclude that I would be better to avoid glass fiber or other materials, how would it influence the production process? Yes, that's what I mentioned. So we tried also to find biological materials for this. And of course, we are very much depending also on the price point. So it's not also about the possibilities of using different types of material. It's also how far are they developed for the right pricing point. So it's something where we will try to find the best compromise.
But Tom, the question is, I think, could it also influence the production process? Other types of materials?
If we, the way we do it now, it could be done in the same production process.
Okay.
So if we use glass fibers, or we can use biological fibers.
Okay.
So that's why we also investigated to be as flexible also in the production. What you see here in the product also, what we can also do is when we made the panels like that we can also make a very nice reusable panels. So if we can take the panels back and in the same production technology, production process, we can reuse the existing elements and make new elements of it. It's a long story to explain, so I don't explain it in this presentation, but I can do that later if somebody wants to. So what we want to do on the covers, we can do the stone strips, but we can also do the wood or plastic covers, and we can also do stone or stucco. For the windows and doors, because we have a very thick wall, we have the existing wall, and then you get the thick wall from 22 centimeters on the outside. You get a very huge window sills, in which gives a very comfortable living space, and so this is also something which makes for the people who live in it a very comfortable area to sit in. What we try to do is that we want to see if we can remove the window frames, because in window frames there are a lot of costs involved. And if we can mill out elements, then we can also make the figures we need to put the windows good in a good way. So I'll give you some example how we do it. So we have our challenges that because the window shields are also window frames also very aesthetical in houses. So we need also to have the possibility to make different types of window frames here. So we have the classic frames, or we have like the modern frames. So and this is something what we would like to make. In this slide, you can see on the left, you can see it's like a modern look. So what you see is on the bottom is the existing wall, and on the top you see the EPS panel, and we can have a mill out, and we will make kind of mounting blocks in the panels. We are examining if we can make the mounting blocks of recycled EPS, which is pressed, and so that we can screw in, so that we have the same type of material in the total panels. And on that we can make it's the same kind of connection like windows are being held now in window frames. We are working now to examine how we can make a window which can open and close, and this is something which is in research at the moment. On the left part you see the modern look. On the right part you see a classic look. With a classic look we have to mill it from both sides, not only from the bottom side but also from the other side, and then we can make all kind of shapes what we want to make curvatures or steps in the plates, and also we can make different types of coatings on it so that it looks from the outside like a normal window frame, but in fact it's not a window frame. Same for doors. Doors we can fix it with mounting blocks, and then we can make a framework which is already into the panel, and then it looks like this. So we have some pictures about it. This is the window frame. This is the new wall. So here we see the new wall with the prefab mounting parts in it, and on that we can put the window in, and then we can put the wooden elements in to fix the window. It can be also plastic or metal. It's just what we have to decide what kind of materials you want to use for that, and then it will be put in front of the existing wall. So what it will be done is normally when we renovate, the windows will be broken out, and then the new facade will be put in front of it, and then we will make everything neat and tight by making a finishing frame, including the window sill. For the door, it's the same. So you see here how we make it. So we have prefab mounting parts. We have to do some examination about some research about the forces which comes on this mounting part. So this is still in development to make this better. But this is the first idea how we want to do it. So at the end of the result, it will be that on the right you see a house without where you see no window frames. And on the left, you see a house where we put our simple window frames, which has no construction functionality, just aesthetical. Or we do it in that way that we mill it out from both sides and we give it a color. Then we have thought about implementation of conduits, ventilation, and heating. How thick centimeters is the solution? Rick asks, how thick centimeters is the solution? What kind of solution you mean, Rick? For the windows? The whole package is 22 centimeters. So if you think about implementation of conduits, ventilation, and heating, so what we have an existing house, and we put the elements in on the outside of the house. So on the roof, there will come a new roof, and the walls will be renewed all from the outside. So it's like we have made an animation of to how to explain to how INDU-ZERO works. It's like you put a jacket around your, like a coat around your new or existing house. What we can do with the walls is that we can make, we can mill out all kinds of elements. So what we can do, we can mill out areas where we can put water or electrical circuits. We can mill out areas where we can make ventilation holes, and we can also mill out window framing. We can also, because it's EPS, we can also make molds for if we have to close elements, so we can mill out spaces, and then we can close it again, and then we can use molded parts for this, which so that they will be very cheap. So we have to do once an investment in molds, and then it's like packaging. You see with your fridge or other bigger products, when you see them in a carton box, they're all made of EPS, and we can use this kind of production technologies to make a clever system. So here you see what we can do. We have the panel. We can mill out every shape we want. If necessary, we can even do a coating on it so that it gets watertight again. We can and then we can close it again with modular panels, and we have a new flat panel. So this is the basic idea how we think our process is working. During the research of finding different types of possible air and heating systems, we came on the product of Technis. Technis is a company which is quite new and is far in this innovation thinking. What we liked about this product is that it's a decentral ventilation, and also for a very cost-effective price, which the decentral ventilation is positive in this case because we have less problems of mold and we have no filter problems. The filter which is used by this one is cleaning itself, so we have no surface needed for these filters. We have less connection problems because we have less air gaps, and we have a much higher efficiency towards the central ventilation. Last but not least, we have a better air quality because there is no moisture, and also what they have in this process, interesting, they have an ionization process built in which they can get out all the small particles. So what we call it fine dust. What they do with the ionization, they put a high voltage on it in a negative high voltage. So all the small parts which comes out, they will get loaded negatively, and then they will be attracted to the walls and floors because they are more positive than the elements. So they will not stay in the air, but they will fall down on the floor and on the walls, so that you have no fine dust anymore in your air. Other thing is that we have the heating, and they can in the same product they can exchange 3 elements. So you can have an electrical heating element. We can put a heat pump in, and we can also do a city heating. Next to heating, we can also do an airco, an active cooling in this product. And also what we can do is we can do a passive cooling. The passive cooling is just a software method to change the way of ventilation during the night and the day. We had some discussions about how much electricity we need for all these products that we need, and we came to the conclusion that we want to put the whole roof full of solar elements, so that we have enough electricity, and also we use the solar elements for having a good protection for the roof, and also a good aesthetical look and feel of the roof. That's the idea we're going to do now. So we made calculations that we have with all the solar panels, even when it's winter and less sun. And I'm not talking now about Scandinavian countries. Then we have for solar panels, we have enough power for heating elements, ventilation, and hot water. Scandinavian countries mostly work with city heating, so then we need less electricity. The idea is that we're going to use in our building, we want to use the heating system with an electrical heating element, so not with a heat pump, but with the electrical heating element. And we do that because then we can achieve the price point where we want to go. With this one, we will use 5 DCUs per house and an infrared lamp in the bathroom, hot water with a flow heater, and in the bathroom and toilet we will have a conventional ventilation system. This is from the outside of the product, and here you see that under the window you will have 2 points, 2 ventilator points, which are coming out from on the outside. We will do also some design studies about how we can improve it, that the look and feel is as neat as possible. Then we go to the roof. On the roof we want to make also smart elements, so these elements will be not as flat as the elements on the wall, but we can mill out our own shape what we want, and we want to put as much cleverness in the walls of in the roofs also like in the walls. So what we will do is we will make it like that we can have an easy pre-installed for solar panels. So we make a structure that we can put solar panels, have a good ventilation behind the solar panels, and also have a good connection with the solar panels. Also, we will have the lifting hook connections so that we can use a crane to put the roof elements on the housing. I will show you later. So what we want to do with the roofs, we want to have a PV panel mounting integration. We will have a good ventilation for it. We have a rain wall drainage, so we will make a hole in the wall and make a connection from the roof to the wall so that we have a rain drainage, and also the rain gutter will be part of the total package. So we don't have loose parts on it. It's all one integrated package. So if we have, we will work on the roof. Then first thing what we need to do is we have to remove all the roof tiles. We think we want to do that because we will gain some weight by removing all the roof tiles, and because we will put new weight on the roof, then we will not have a problem of the construction questions of if the building is strong enough to build the new roof. Because we can exchange easily the weight from the roof tiles from the new roof. So if we look to roofs, the existing roofs, and here are some examples and pictures, then you see the roofs are never straight. It's always bended in all kinds of direction. So it's a challenge to make a very good flat roof. And we thought about how to do this with as less labor cost possible, and also we don't want to make a lot of constructions around the house to do the renovation. So we came up with this idea to have this verrijker crane. That's a name in Dutch. I don't know the name in English, but it's a crane where we can when in this arm the top arm is a bit small, but they have also longer, so that they can also go to the other side of the house. So what we make with this crane, we can do about 3 houses on a row, and we can have access to the whole roof on both sides, and also on the top of the walls on both sides. We need that to make the right connections for the construction on the walls and on the roof. Other possibilities is this kind of triangle platform that we could use. And also it's also an easy system, which has not so much impact on the whole environment when we do the renovation for a house. The idea is to have as less possible crane movements, so that we are most effective in the whole building up of the house. Challenge we have a lot when we work on the roof. We're working on that. We are working now on the system to make a good connection to the existing roof. But you see, we have a lot of problems with there are a lot of challenges with the permanent load of the elements, but also with the suction of the wind. And maybe these ones are more challenging even than the permanent loads. It will be something like this. This is just an impression. We are working now on do research now in different types of solar panels, and soon we will choose for a type of solar panels, and from that we will choose also the connection, how we can connect the solar panels together with the lifting of the crane, how we can install it on the roof. So for now we are thinking all about how we can make the house for a lower price point with the same look and feel. But it's even interesting also, if we going to renovate houses, we get also chances and opportunities. And the chances of opportunities are in that case that we can easily make an extra window or different sizes of windows. So you can really make a very nicer house and look and feel of house. And also you can close windows, like you make areas in the outside which has a kind of you can put light through it, but it's not a window. So you can play with that. There's also you can play with the amount of solar you want to have in your house, the amount of warmth you want to have in your house or cold you want to have in your house. So it gives you a lot of opportunities to play with. So I would suggest also to architects to play with this and to take benefit of the possibilities that we can make this kind of solutions also in our with our production method. So far my story about how far we are now with the development. There's still a lot of work to do, but I think it's a good start. Also, I'm quite positive for the price point we are working now. It's still a challenge, but we're getting slowly but secure in a good direction.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Yeah, really good designing by you and the team. But now it's interesting. From the designing, we would like to go to the real case.
I have one remark from Per. When you look on different solar panels, make sure that you have a look on the LCAs on these panels. There's, for example, a huge difference between Chinese panels and European panels. And yes, that's true. So we will have a look into that. The question from Maxime is, how do you clean the windows of the last pictures? Yeah, it's a good challenge for them, but I think maybe they can open the windows from the inside. So, that's something for the architect to discover and to think of.
There is already self-cleaning glass.
Yes. Okay. Good.
By the way,
maybe you can have animals to do it.
Oh, animals. Okay. Like I said, very good designing, and for now it's time and in this project from designing to go to real showcases. And Domijn is one of the partners who said, yeah, we would like to do some showcases, and we have gone to work for it. Wait. We, as Domijn, with the other partners, have set up a few conditions together for our showcases. At Domijn assets that are also general principles for the product design and the renovation preparation. We want the selected houses to be terraced houses. We have a lot of them as Domijn, but also are there in the Netherlands and in whole Europe. Of these terraced houses, we like to renovate 3 different properties in the same row that are a final home, a terraced home, and an adjoining property in the middle of the row. So we have 3 houses besides each other, but all different design principles for the INDU-ZERO product. So then Tom can design 3 different types, and then we cover all the possibilities that we have in this product. Another condition is that we use performance-based principles. Then we mean that we like to have a design based on a net zero home with guarantees on the energy, comfort, health, climate, maintenance cost, etc. The budget, very important. Of course, because of the factory is not there, the price of 40,000 euro isn't a reasonable price. So we have set up a budget that is close to the budget that that the current cost for a net zero renovation would be like. But the budget that we have set is excluding any special circumstances, for an example, asbestos removal or things like that. Another principle that is very important for us as a housing association is that the renovation can be done in an inhabited state. So within a few days with a minimal inconvenience for the tenant. That's very important. And that's all part of the showcase and all part of the designing and the renovation. Our next step was make a selection of the potential assets we have. So we have analyzed our 60,000 homes and a selection of potential assets which can be transformed with the INDU-ZERO project has been made. For the showcase, we selected the assets with which comply with the following criteria. So like we said, it should be a terraced, a semi-detached house or an apartment. And we selected, like I said, a terrace house. But the year of construction must be in between 1965 or 1974. It must be said here that we as Domijn see that more years of construction are suitable for the INDU-ZERO approach and the designing Tom has shown us. We see opportunity for construction years between the years of 1940 and 1990. So a lot more houses can be renovated with these in these standards which Tom is developing. And for Domijn, is it about 7,000 homes in that construction period. Another important for the selection of potential assets is the end of the economic life of a building. We have strategies on our houses, and when the quality ain't that good, it won't be rent after 2050. So we selected the assets that are of a good quality and still will be standing after 2050. That's the period when we have to be CO2 neutral.
There are a few questions.
Yeah.
Gerard has a question. Does it mean that the price might be a little bit higher when the maintenance cost will be lower?
Yeah, that's true. Because we look performance-based, we also look at maintenance cost, and if that would mean that the price at the beginning would be a little bit higher, but we can lower the cost in our maintenance, then that's possible, in our opinion. Yes.
Okay, Marcel has put a link to a website for self-cleaning glass. Thank you, Marcel.
Thank you.
And Gerard has a question. The idea was that when it's possible for the houses built in 65 to 74, it's possible for the other groups. It's also possible for the other groups.
Yeah, that's very good. It's true, Gerard, that this period of construction is a project criteria, but that's why I mentioned that the product has a far bigger range. So, but it's good you mention it. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, the end of economic life, but after that we also have property that has a strategy of sale. So we excluded that part of our houses, and we also looked for housing blocks that are complete, where no houses are sold, so that we can do it effective. yeah, also here I must say that we did that on purpose for the showcase. But of course, when one or a few houses would be sold, it wouldn't be that big of a problem. But for reasons to make efficiency, it's better. We have a question.
Koen asked, I could not attend the whole webinar. Is the presentation available on the website, or you will be sent to attendees? We will put it on the. I'm not sure how this works.
Yeah, no, this whole webinar is filmed and recorded, and the record is storaged on the website. So you can find it on our website. Also, all the webinars you can find here. So it will be available. Yes. Don't worry. So we made a selection, and a lot of homes fit. For now, the location of Domijn is selected after the analysis we did. So we picked out one row with 3 houses that fits. And the showcase of Domijn is now in preparation. A challenging showcase has been selected. The showcase is challenging, we think, in relation to the walls that face the construction. So we do this on purpose to learn and show that INDU-ZERO is capable in solution for also a bit more difficult housing types. At this time, the producer is preparing the showcase renovation, and the procedure with the tenants and the municipality for permits will be started also. We would like to start up the showcase in 2020, and that it will be realized at least at the end of 2020. By the way, at Domijn, but also at INDU-ZERO, we have a few goals we like to have with this showcase. One of the goals is to show the look and feel and the technical possibilities of the INDU-ZERO project to a lot of other people and other housing associations, so that you can see what we can do and what's already possible. But the second goal is for us at Domijn mostly is to get to know the process for upscaling, because we have to go faster and we have to do upscaling. Otherwise, we won't make the goals of becoming energy neutral. Now, it's good to know that not only Domijn in the Netherlands is delivering a showcase, but every participating country in the INDU-ZERO project delivers a showcase in the social housing environment. So we have divided the countries into 2 groups, depending on the moment of realization of the showcase. And all the letter of intents will be signed before the first quarter. So we are very busy with the last LOEs. And the first group is starting in 2020. That is in the Netherlands and in Belgium. And the second group is in the UK, Sweden, Norway, and Germany. And they will start up in 2020, but they will realize in the first quarter of 2021. So for now, as you can see, we made the first steps in realizing the showcase. The showcase is selected. The property is analyzed, so we see a lot of opportunities for the INDU-ZERO project. And sorry, I see a question coming here. Okay, Gerard, you are asking for if there will be a showcase in Scotland. Yes, we have context in Scotland. For now, we don't know if we can do one showcase there. So if anyone has a solution for that, you can contact us. So we're still searching for Scotland. Thank you, Gerard. So we're looking for a showcase in the UK or Scotland, and we are working on that now. For now, it's good. I think it's good to go on to the next step, and Tom will tell you a little bit short about what we are doing.
So the next steps in the project will be that we will develop, of course, more in the renovation package. We focus now more on the terrace housing, and we will go slowly. When we have found the solution for the roof, we will take the step towards the apartments and the higher buildings. And because then we have also different solutions for the insulation. The same is that we will think about the solutions now for the Scandinavian countries for the city heating. So Per, soon I will contact you more about that because I have some questions about it. The other thing is that we parallel there will be a development for the factory blueprint. So this team is working on that now too. When we have our first test of our panels, then it's also we can also make quick steps in the development of the blueprint for the factory. The other thing is when we have that, then the VR and our visualization can be done. During the whole system, during the whole process, there's constantly questions about the assessment for the housing stock and see if we can have a market demand for it. So this was our webinar so far. I hope you enjoyed it and you have been more curious about where this project is going. I'm very enthusiastic about the project and the team who is working on it. We have our next external webinar on Thursday, 28th of November. That's about the integration of production process in the digital factory. And that's presented by Arjan de Haan and Lianda Scherfs from RC Panels. And the registration you can do at the website of INDU-ZERO.
Yes.
Thank you all. If you have some questions, please let us know. We're still here now. And,
yes. And if you have questions, we already mentioned the INDU-ZERO website. You can see the link to the website in your screen. You can also sign for the newsletter, so you will be updated on times. And you can sign in for webinars. So thanks for your attention, and we wait a little bit for if there are more questions.
Okay. Thank you all people. Have a nice day. And see you maybe later.
Okay. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Stop the webinar.